The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
You know, Ben, I just need to get it together. I really do.
Well, your laptop being dead isn't your fault.
Oh, look at you. Did that start it up?
We're just happy you're
an
there,
email
Jake.
earlier and then couldn't turn on. He doesn't know where his power button is on his laptop.
I got to get it together. 2940 South, 300 West. That's where we are. Peach Stores and Windows.
Let you know about tomorrow. Win big every Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Ticket Wednesday. This Wednesday, Win tickets to see Counting Crows August 21st at the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. Don't miss Counting Crows, the complete suites tour with special guest the Gaslight Anthem. Get tickets now at livenation.com or listen to KSL Sports Zone all day tomorrow for your chance to win.
Boy, sure appreciate you reading that, Ben.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. I'm back up and running.
To be fair, your power button doesn't say it's the power button.
No, and usually I just tap on the thing and it turns on.
But, your power button is – I mean, it's where every power button is. It's the top right corner of the keyboard, but it doesn't indicate that that's what it is. So I think you used overly deductive reasoning.
Thank you for making me feel better about my foolishness. I really appreciate that.
But
what
you're
a great day.
You're up and running.
801-566-1255. That is the number to call. Free in-home estimates at Peach. And, again, drop by and see us. Grab a donut. Grab some candy. We had a guy come in and grab the maple donut earlier. It was good to see him.
I know. I
was
a little frustrated he did that.
Why? You were going to take that one home?
That thing?
You were going to. That was going to be you?
Happy for him.
Tim LaComb is going to join the show coming up at 11:30. We'll talk some Jazz basketball. The big stories of the day today. Egor Demin is not coming back to BYU. He's going to enter the NBA draft. And then the national championship game last night. Ben, the Florida Gators were victorious over the Houston Cougars.
Let me ask you, did Egor have a successful season? Was this whole, I don't want to say experiment, it's not like BYU's breaking new ground here, but it's relatively new ground for BYU, having a highly paid one-and-done player come through at BYU. Do you think it was a success? Do we have enough data to say whether it was or not?
Well, I will give you my answer with a couple of questions.
Okay.
Did he positively contribute to the team?
I think he did.
Did he make them better?
I think he did.
Now, how many times has BYU been to the Sweet 16 in the last 40 years?
Once? Twice? Oh, 40 years? Yeah, twice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it was successful.
Okay.
Yes, and I think he got better. He was able to show out in a good league. I mean, I don't see how you could describe it any other way, honestly. I mean, if he came in and didn't help him win, you know, if he came in and they gave him guaranteed minutes because he's a lottery pick guy and they were actually a bad team, like I don't know if I'd call what happened at Rutgers this year a success. Like for anybody involved, really. I don't think either of those players increased their value.
No, they were going to be top 5 picks. They're going to be top 5 picks.
Rutgers sucked.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, maybe they put some NIL in their pocket, but I don't think you could call that a success.
Okay.
I think Egor, I don't know if he bettered his draft. I mean, that's a better question for Kristen Peak or somebody along those lines. But I do think he became a better player. I think he got good coaching, and he was part of a Sweet 16 team. I mean, that's pretty good.
If you go back to the way too early mock drafts that came out in June last year or July last year after the 2024 draft, I think a lot of people had Egor top 10. He's probably not going to be top 10 this year. We'll see. He could have good workouts and certainly get there still.
But that's also a result of others, too. I mean, that's not his failure.
Well,
other people, there's more information now.
And that's a guess. That was with all due respect, that was some person's guess in July about where he would be drafted.
It's still a guess now.
That doesn't mean he slipped. Nothing slipped. It was a guess, a projection of nothing, because most of these players had never played anywhere except for high school or overseas at this point. So I wouldn't hold that against him and say, oh, well, he was projected to be number 8 on some board at NBADraft.net last July, and now he's projected to be 18. He dropped 10 spots. BYU hurt him. That's certainly not the case. I don't think that's what happened.
No.
He started all season, and if you look at, BYU's other top one-and-done players from last year, or the expectation that they had that possibility, he was certainly more successful than Catchings, who is now transferring away from the program. And the truth is, that's just the nature of the business. And you hope if you're a BYU donor, and I don't care how people spend their money, I don't tell them how to spend their money, but they recognize that that's the game you're playing. You might have a 50% hit rate. In fact, if you have a 50% hit rate with your NIL players of that level, and certainly Egor made more money than Catchings did, I would imagine, you've probably done pretty well. You've probably done okay. That's a good investment if that's what you're looking for, is guys stepping up and starting for your team and being able to make a run. Most players don't make it. I mean, Merrill Little was Utah's highest paid player last year. What did he – I don't remember him. I know who he was. I don't remember anything he did at Utah. I mean, the hit rate was absolutely zero there. Ezra Asar was a lower-paid player and had a much bigger impact. So that is the gamble, and Egor certainly did not work himself out of the first round. And maybe more importantly, really seems to love BYU. He talked about it during his press conference.
At great length.
He talked a lot.
He was very thorough.
But a lot of it was positive about BYU, which is a good thing.
Very thorough. In English and Spanish, not even
Russian.
Not even
we didn't
his
even
native
get to
Russian.
But he did.
He eventually got there.
He did to talk to his family.
We've got it posted in its entirety on online. I knew that Travis Hansen was involved with Egor and all that, but hearing him talk about Travis, you forget what a big deal he was in Russia. He was an all-star basketball player in Russia for a long time. Defected, like the anti-Sean Connery in The Hunt for Red October.
Okay.
He did. He played for their national team. I don't know who he voted for.
Sure.
Probably voted for Putin. It seems like everybody did.
I don't think they vote.
In theory, they do.
It's kind of like forced.
Yeah, in theory, they do. I mean, if you look at the results, you'd say, wow, he's really popular.
Yeah, everybody voted.
Yeah. But that was a particular connection to, he obviously looked up to Travis Hansen as a basketball player, and it meant something to him to recreate his path, which I thought was really interesting. And it's just a reminder that, if you don't make the NBA, if you're a basketball player, like I always admired Britton Johnson, Britton, when he traveled Europe and even played in South America and all this, he really embraced the experience of being abroad and experiencing the culture and all these sorts of things. And Travis is a great example that, hey, if you're not an NBA player, you can still be really good. There's a lot of really good basketball played, and whether it's Jimmer in China or where was J.C. Carroll? Wasn't he in Spain?
Yeah, he was all over Europe, right? I mean, he had a successful career.
But yeah, the all-star over there, it's pretty interesting. But so I don't know, BYU, how they continue to land top recruits if they continue down this path. I don't think BYU did any damage to their rep in that way. Maybe you could look at the catching thing and say to the contrary. But if you're a top-notch recruit and BYU's offering you a bunch of dough and saying they can develop you for the pros, I think they can use Demin as an argument.
Yeah, as a positive.
Or as a positive, as a selling point. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think they can, and I think they should. And now it's up to him to go and play well in the NBA. But even that is so out of your control. It's nice when you have guys who go and have long careers. But, I'm not just trying to, punish Utah. But is DeLon Wright or Kyle Kuzma or Jakob Poeltl, are they doing anything to help Utah's recruiting right now?
Probably not.
Probably not. And they've had great careers. All those guys
But that was so long ago. That's the thing.
Agreed, but they have all exceeded their draft position. Every single one of them has played better in the NBA than where they were drafted. Poeltl's made a bunch of money. I mean, he's still in the NBA. You're right.
Yeah,
he's the eighth overall pick.
Yeah,
he's not an all-star, but he's made well over $100 million. I think DeLon's close to $100 million. Kuzma's going to be close to $200 million before his career's over. Those guys have really succeeded. Those guys are good NBA players. Those guys have had very, very healthy careers, and that's not done anything for Utah's recruiting. It didn't do anything for Utah's recruiting in the immediate aftermath. It didn't seem like. So, what Egor does at the next level, it won't hurt BYU, but, it would be great if he was exceptional. But if he doesn't end up being a great NBA player, I don't think that would stop anyone from going to BYU.
I don't think that actually matters at all, honestly. I think did you improve their development? That's what matters to BYU. You can point as an example, like he got to be a better basketball player. No, listen, if Demin gets drafted by the Wizards and gets lost to a terrible NBA franchise, I don't think that'll affect BYU one way or another. It's here's a pro who came here, got better, got drafted. Yeah. That's the story. You know what I mean? I don't think I don't think DeLon Wright's success impacts Utah at all, honestly, unless he wants to come back and donate to build a gym.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, totally right. Yeah, exactly right.
But did DeLon Wright become a better basketball player while at Utah under a specific coach? You can go sell that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that coach is gone. But, yes, he did. You know who maybe the better comp is locally if we're looking for college athletes for Egor and whether it was a success or not is Jalen Johnson. Right? He goes to Utah. His whole bet was I'm going to go to Utah over other big schools. I'm going to play the absolute minimum amount of college football possible and still be a high draft pick. And he did it, and he's turned into a top 5 corner in the NFL. He did that. He said, I'm going to target Utah specifically for their program. They highlight guys like me. And that's the same selling point BYU had for Egor. We're going to highlight players like you. We're going to keep you as a high draft pick. We're going to develop you, and we're going to win with you on the field early and often. And they did that, and they followed through.
I don't think you can be a top 5 player and play for the Bears.
Your position?
Yeah.
You don't think that's possible?
No.
Okay, well
Ben thinks that Caleb Williams is.
Yeah. They've got the top quarterback in the world. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's got that juice.
I don't know if that's making the argument you think it is.
So, looking at what BYU's done, I'm with you. I think it was a success with Egor. And at the next point, it's such a crapshoot of where you land and whether they develop you and who's already on the roster. It's not really up to BYU anymore of what he does at this point. And you just hope he goes as high as possible. And you know what? If you're a Jazz fan, it's great news he's in the draft. Whether he's there at 22 or whatever you're picking with the Timberwolves pick or not, the more depth in the draft, the better set up you are. So it actually does have some local ties as well. Though the Jazz will certainly, they know more about him than anyone else in the NBA. So they if he's there at 22 and they pick him, they must have seen something they liked.
Hoffa went, 9th in the draft?
Uh-huh.
Do you think
whatever it was, yeah.
Do you think Coach Cleve gives a good god dang that he sucked at the pros?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
If anything, it's more badge of honor. I got this stiff drafted in the top 10.
He was so physically dominant in college.
Yeah, absolutely. He was not a stiff. Yeah, he was.
He was so big.
He's huge.
Yeah.
And didn't mind being a physical player. He was just too stumpy for the pros.
I'm really curious how Egor develops in the NBA. He's got some real strengths. He's probably the best passer in the draft. You love his height. You love his size. I wish he could create more off the dribble. I wish he could get to spots on the floor better. Sometimes that's deceiving, and you think, well, if he looks slow in college or he can't get places on the floor in college, he's certainly not going to be able to do it to the NBA. But then you get such good spacing in the NBA. Guys are so spread out, and everybody is guarding on an island, or you actually get a big guy, with all due respect to BYU's bigs, and they were fine. Mm-hmm. But guys who can actually set a screen to give you a lot of space coming off those picks that you can operate with more room. There is a possibility there that he looks better in the NBA.
Can I ask you a would you rather?
Okay.
Now, take athletics out of this for a second.
All right.
Would you rather have, uncomfortably long arms?
Okay.
Like when you walk, it's hanging down, past your knees or something.
Your arms.
Yeah. Or be stumpy. Would
I rather
weirdly...
be Jimmer or Trey Burke?
Was Jimmer stumpy?
Oh, Jimmer was alligator arms. Yeah, big time.
I don't remember Jimmer being stumpy. I remember him being short. Hoffa was stumpy.
Hoffa was maybe the stumpiest, but yeah, Jimmer also had those alligator arms.
Donovan Mitchell has super long arms.
Yeah.
But not, but not weirdly, look at the size of that guy's arms.
Right.
Or stumpy. Which would you rather have? Take sports out of it.
No, give me goofy long arms.
Goofy long arms?
Yeah, I want to be flaily.
But then I feel like you're going to be helping people get stuff down all the time.
That's fine. No, I have to do that sometimes anyways. The little grannies at the grocery store need something off the top shelf. They've gotten a better job of not making that required anymore.
Excuse me, sir. My tennis shoes have been tied together and thrown on top of that power line. Could you please reach up there and get them for me? I mean, I feel like you'd be stopping all the time.
Yeah, Jimmer had a 6'4" wingspan. It was a little bit.
Yeah, he wasn't stumpy.
It was a little bit.
That's normal.
Yeah, it was a little bit longer than his height, which is good. I thought he was shorter. Arujo did have the tiniest wingspan.
Yeah, Jimmer wasn't stumpy. He was just short and lacked lateral quickness.
I mean, 6'4" is not very good still, but it's not a negative wingspan, which is always a real curse.
Jimmer certainly was not 6'4".
Correct. No, he was 6'2", yeah. Okay, yeah. Anyways, neither here nor there.
Not Stumpy.
No. I can't find a Rougeau's official wingspan.
Stumpy.
But it was little.
Yeah, Stumpy for sure. All right, it is a Tuesday. We want to give you an opportunity to go see the Jazz on a Jazz Ticket Tuesday. Only 2 home games left. And if you're the caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE, you're going to get a 4-pack of tickets to go see the Jazz and the Blazers tomorrow night at Delta Center, 801-575-ZONE, 801-575-ZONE. We are live today at Peach Doors and Windows, 2940 South, 300 West, right here in Salt Lake City. You can call them 801-566-1255. You can also go online, peachbuildingproducts.com. And our friend Cindy joins the show once again. Hello, Cindy.
Hey. How are you guys?
We're doing terrific. I think one of the things we've talked about a lot is, you come in and you see the big, beautiful doors. There's also a lot of different options within the actual brands of the doors that if you go to a big box store, you don't realize there's way more than just 2 brands that make doors. You're going to have a lot more options than that.
There's a lot of options out there. And what we've tried to do is represent here at Peach multiple brands, multiple options. So you have a variety of choices. So you're not like A or B, but there's multiple choices. Whether you want to go with a vinyl window, a fiberglass window, a aluminum clad window, a wood window, a European tilt and turn window. We are the exclusive distributors for Euroline, which is a European tilt and turn window, which is amazing. Every person that we put those in their homes, say everybody that comes in their home goes, your windows, where did those come from? Yeah. Where did you get those? And so it's just a new thing here in Utah to have a European window available. And if you're not familiar with European tilt and turn windows, it's like a door that opens into your home so you can clean both sides of the glass, and then you can vent it from the top because it tilts in. And it's a very secure way of letting air into your home, especially with your children and pets.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, I don't read the news, but I heard that things being made in the USA is a big deal. I hear that's something.
Some advantages at the moment
that people are talking about out there. But I do love that. I love to support local. I love to buy made right here in the USA, and that's important to you guys too.
Our manufacturers are here in the United States. Our products are made in the United States. Our products will not have Chinese tariffs like some products in the marketplace. There are Chinese windows in the marketplace, and those will probably be reflected in pricing as the tariffs.
I'm told that's how it works.
For a lower quality window.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
No, but it's a big deal.
That. No, it's a huge deal.
And it's very relevant right now. Absolutely. 100%. Get a better product for a better price.
Get a better product for a better price, a product that has longevity, that has a warranty, that you can service, that you can get parts for when it's 20, 30 years old. When we have people call us for parts for their windows, we love to be able to help them replace parts and not have to replace the entire window.
We talked about the SWAT team coming and trying to knock down one of your clients' doors. It was a mistake, but they tried to knock it down. The nice thing is you guys know exactly what door she was talking about or they were talking about. You installed it. You can go replace it. You're not on the phone with somebody saying, no, I ordered the door 12 years ago and it kind of looks like this. You know exactly what the product was.
Exactly. We've used the manufacturers for decades because of their quality, their warranties, their research and development, and because it's products made here in the United States of America.
Awesome stuff. All right, peachbuildingproducts.com. You can check them out on Google. You can come here to the showroom, 2940 South, 300 West, and you can call for a free in-home estimate, 801-566-1255. Cindy, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Our buddy Tim LaComb is coming up next. Christian, we have break. No, hit us, Christian. What's the breaking news?
Shams just tweeted that the Denver Nuggets have fired Mike Malone.
Wow. Mike Malone is out in Denver. That is a shocker.
That's a huge story.
Taylor Jenkins and now Mike Malone.
There's 4 days left in the
playoffs start next week.
4 games left. Michael Malone won the championship 24 months ago? 22 months ago?
He does appear to be a pretty unpleasant person, however.
Agreed. And does not always see eye to eye with front office people. He likes to play old guys. They brought all these young guys that they want to play with. We'll have to talk to Tim LaComb about this next.
But still, to fire a head coach
with 4 games to go is madness.
They've lost 4 straight.
Madness.
I get it. They're falling apart a little bit here at the end of the year, but, yeah, that's wild.
Old Mike's looking for a new gig.
Michael.
Stay tuned. Tim LaComb joins us next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is DJ and PK.
Andy Bailey, NBA analyst and writer for Bleacher Report. It would be awesome if the Jazz hit that top spot, but the odds are it'll go to somebody else. If it goes to somebody else, is there another player you're really excited about?
I think Con Knippel's been really interesting. He's not an eye-popping athlete, but I like guys who play with a feel for the game, and he has that. Guys who can dribble, pass, and shoot right away are just at such an advantage. VJ Edgecombe, he's kind of the opposite. Not that he's not skilled, but he's a freak athlete. There are concerns with a lot of these guys. I think they all have great upside. There's just a lot of eggs in the flag basket. If Utah lands him, I think they're on a completely different trajectory. Suddenly, everything they've done for the last couple of years makes a lot more sense. And if they don't, it's still a little bit of a mystery.
Catch DJ and PK mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who's got it better than us?
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We are live from Peach Doors and Windows, 2940 South, 300 West, right here in Salt Lake. Check them out, peachbuildingproducts.com. We want to remind you to nominate the U Sports volunteer you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week. Submit your nomination at kslsports.com/contest and listen every Thursday to JJ and Alex for the winner. Help us celebrate the efforts of those volunteers making an impact with the Hercules Hero of the Week, sponsored by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals. Joining us now, my co-host for Jazz Pre, Half, and Post. He's kind enough to join us on Tuesdays. He's our good buddy, Tim LaComb. What's going on, Tim?
How are you, fellers?
Doing better than Michael Malone.
Yeah, I just heard that. That is insane.
Pretty wild.
I was actually looking to see if it was like a fake account, the first one I looked at.
We've seen a couple of these now, with Taylor Jenkins getting fired a week ago, and that feels like it was two years ago now at this point. But, there was, 10 games left in the season at that point. Michael Malone, and I get the Nuggets have lost 4 straight, but I don't think they're underwhelming. I don't think they're underperforming. They still have a chance to finish with the the third best record in the Western Conference. And I think are one of the few teams that we all believe could not only make the conference finals, but make a serious fight or put up a serious fight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So do we have to assume something else happened behind the scenes, or do you think his personality just became too much?
I'm wondering if it's personality. I know, in his last, I guess they lost to the Pacers, and he talked about how the defense has been kind of the most disappointing part of the year, and it's been a major drop-off from last year. Some of the things I read real quick when I looked basically said, the question is maybe his voice isn't carrying the weight it once did because, he keeps harping on they need to be tougher and more physical and better defensively, and they're just not.
Man, I think they're just submarining an opportunity. It's crazy. And Ben and I were talking off the air that Denver has never been particularly well run. Memphis is not particularly well run. I just can't. I mean, can you imagine the Jazz firing a coach with 4 games to go before they're making the playoffs? It's not like they're not making. I mean, they've still got basketball to be played. I think this is a sign that those two franchises are actually not particularly smart.
Yeah, and I think that is probably the norm. I would throw Phoenix into that group. We see franchises roll through town all the time, and we talk about their history, whether it be the draft picks or decisions they've made. And I think the only thing I can surmise, these are really bright people in the regular world, and they've made a ton of money. But it really comes back to that age-old adage that, good things come to those who wait. And everybody's in such a damn hurry right now. And I think the management front office of the Jazz, I think that's where you've got to kind of tip your cap, because they could have made some rash decisions and made some crazy moves. They made a decision once and for all that they needed to reverse course, and they've been on that trajectory. But, patience is what is most important in these situations. You said it, Jake. I don't know what they gained in a couple of weeks without Mike Malone around, but that would be my thing. I think everybody's feeling the pressure, and people are making knee-jerk decisions.
The GM also got fired, Calvin Booth. That news just came down as you were answering that question. I'm going to float a theory to you. Tim Connolly, who built the championship team, left for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's a free agent this offseason. I won't be surprised if behind the scenes he's making moves, maybe with the hope of returning to Denver to have a chance to rebuild a championship team around Nikola Jokic if he doesn't feel like he can win one in Minnesota right now. But I've got to imagine, as a coach, and you can speak to this, teams get reputations. I know everyone's desperate to get coaching jobs, but Denver needs a winning coach right now, right? They need somebody who can take you to a championship. I have to imagine coaches talk and recognize, like, hey, man, it's too flighty to go there. That might not be a spot you want to be at.
Yeah, I would definitely think so. But there's always, it seems to be there's always a guy willing, even if it's a guy like Doc Rivers who was out for a while and comes back. So I'm telling you, it's a circus. And I think that is, I look at the decisions that are made here locally. We watch how guys are developed, and things are done more analytically and less emotionally, I think. And that's where you've got to be if you want to be good.
All right, so who's the second best team in the West then?
Well, I'm not picking the Lakers, so I'm going to say the Rockets. I think the Rockets, albeit young, we saw how feisty and competitive and tough they are. They've got good physicality. Can they do it in the big moments? Can Jalen Green make shots down the stretch when they need him to? That's all yet to be determined. But I think that they're a team that's on the same page. And that's really, if you look around, Memphis and Denver just kind of kick their own tires a little bit. So that lessens them in my mind. Again, I just can't do the Lakers thing. I struggle with their ability in the end to really be tough enough to do it. So I'll say Rockets.
That would be a new format without having a true established star. I know Alperen Şengün, we all like him in this trio of ours that we're talking right now. Really like him, but that would be a major jump forward. What did you think of last night's game? Switching it up and talking a little college basketball. I thought Florida emerging was a good sign of the type of talent you need to have, especially in the backcourt, to win when Houston couldn't get shots off. But also very telling, no freshmen played in that game last night.
Yeah, so I enjoyed the game. There were a lot of people saying how ugly it was. And, if you were just looking for the ball to go through the basket, it was ugly. But there was so many great things going on out there. The help side defense, people in the gaps, guys selling out. I had a bunch of the broadcast assistants over last night to watch the game. And, I told them, I said, how often in the NBA do you see a guy, like one of the first media timeouts, Tugler was laying on the ground, exhausted. Like when I used to do like CrossFit, and you do one of those hour workouts and you lay there in just a puddle of your own sweat. He was that way a few minutes into the game. And I said to those guys, when's the last time you saw an NBA game where a guy looked like that? And I think that's what I enjoyed, was just the competitive spirit and fire and toughness. And Florida, my concern with Houston was they go through these major droughts where they have a hard time finding points, and they needed a couple dudes to raise up and make shots. And it was the other way. It was Clayton that did that, but he did that all tournament. So he was really impressive to me. I knew Todd Golden quite a bit when he was an assistant at San Francisco. He then became the head coach after I left. But crazy trajectory. 12 years ago, he was the ops director at Columbia University.
Well, Are you surprised? I was disappointed our guy Kelvin didn't have something better cooked up for the last play. You could say, what you want about the kid should have shot faked, but I didn't like much of their offense that they ran down the stretch. Or am I misreading it and Florida was just that good defensively?
No, I did feel like they got stuck. Florida did a great job of guarding their perimeter guys. And like Ben said, I think Florida had probably proved to have the best backcourt in the nation offensively, defensively, because they did a great job of kind of shutting things down. But that last play, there was actually, watching it, it was kind of a misdirection play that was baiting them into guarding Cryer coming back to the ball. When he caught the ball, it was so crowded that the second option was a pin down for Sharp. And watching it again, Roberts did not screen down. If he would have laid that dude out, it would have been a wide open shot. But he just kind of ran by him, and it was shocking to me because Houston has shown to be physical and execute really well. And so that play, it looked awful. But I think if the big screens, I think Sharp's got it. Or if he just shot fakes, he's got a wide open shot. So hear where you're going. But I told him I don't want anything going to rim from Houston because Florida's clamped that all down all game or in the second half. So I didn't mind the shot per se, but I just think they just didn't execute it.
Was Egor Demin's lone season at BYU a success?
For sure. I think he came here on the radar, and everybody just kind of guesses at that point, a year out. I mean, I remember Isaiah Collier was the number one player at one point in his trajectory. So Egor kind of came here, and he found the things that he does really well, and that's his vision and intellect and, his ability to kind of run a team. And he grew into that. It wasn't there at the beginning of the season, but he grew into that. He is an elite passer, but, he's going to have to work on his body. He's going to have to work on his ability to make shots from the perimeter. And so he'll be one of those young guys that now throws his playing piece into the NBA. And, I would imagine from where I sit, it's going to probably spend some time in the G League and, to continue to get better. But I really like him, but it comes down to, like with so many guys, he does some things really, really well, but you've got to have a complete game to be able to make it.
Final question for you, Tim. I find when most people's teams win the championship that most people are insufferable. Now, Jamil is one of the most sufferable people that I know. So I want to know how but I've never been around Jamil when his team wins a title, right? How insufferable was Jamil when his Gators won?
Well, he didn't have a chance to be because Jalen was there. And Jalen was talking loud and fast and funny the whole night. He had my wife in tears. But Jamil was a good sport. He waited to the last minute and then, stood up with his arms in the air and smiled and
all right.
Told
That's
him,
not so bad.
We owe him a few M&Ms.
Yeah, that's not so bad. All right, good. Good to hear.
No,
Tim,
he
you're the
wasn't
best.
bad. Jamil's not that guy.
Now, if Jalen's team would have won, I'm sure that would have been something entirely different. Appreciate you, Coach. We'll see you tomorrow.
I think Jalen would have found his way to the roof of my house if they would have won and just screamed. So, yeah, you're right.
Thanks, buddy.
See you, Coach.
All right, there you go. That's our friend, the coach, Tim LaComb, jumping on with us.
Only 3 more days together with you guys. We got to do something in the summer.
Imagine getting fired as a coach when you're coaching the world's best player. What a blown opportunity. Imagine if Phil Jackson would have gotten fired in, 92 or
91 with 3 games left to go. We love this Mike Jordan guy, but Phil's the wrong man for the job.
You think old Mike's like, oh, dude, I was on the gravy train. I was coaching the world's greatest player. There's not an easier job than the one I had.
The Russell Westbrook thing being there is weird.
Oh, Rusty.
Having to deal with Rusty.
Too reliant on Rusty.
Jamal Murray's inconsistency and inability to stick in the lineup and health issues there. I'll be really curious which direction this goes. And look, Denver could blow up this summer. It might not just be – they're not moving Jokic by any means. Then again, Luka Doncic did just get traded, but there could be a lot of changes there. You change a coach, you change a GM, a lot of things could be rearranged.
Really had the world by the short hairs.
Yep.
And really blew it.
Doesn't last long.
No. Way to go, Mike. Yesterday you were coaching Nikola Jokic.
They got a little
Today,
cute,
not.
too. Calvin Booth got really cute after Tim Connolly left and took the Timberwolves job.
He should be fired for signing Rusty alone.
But his whole thought over and over and over was, let's get young players. Let's get young players because I think I can hit on all these second-round and late first-round draft picks to step in and support Jokic. It's like that's not how people win. It's not how you win in the NBA. So failing to surround Jokic with better players was a flaw as well.
Stay tuned. We'll wrap up the show next. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G. It's what you want.
You know, I was babysat until 8th grade. Dolores Arnold used to babysit me every day after school. And
Dolores?
Her husband, yeah.
Look how you got like 220-pound 8th grade hands.
Can we not focus on that?
You walk in like, hey, Dolores. Hi, Hans. I think it's funny the thought of a 8th grade Hans Olsen probably pushing 2 bills, sitting in and being babysat.
You guys let me know when you're done so I can finish my story.
Tell us more about Dolores.
Anyways, her husband, Don, liked MASH.
Sitting next to Don on the couch watching MASH.
Hey, Don, can I borrow your shaver?
Catch Hans and Scotty weekdays from noon to 3 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. What's that? Whether it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, these guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
1, 2, 3, move it.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Two amigos on the airways, talking sports. They got it made drinks and on soul. Loves his tie-dye, Ben's got style with his scarf. Oh my.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, live from Peach Doors and Windows, 2940 South, 300 West, right here in Salt Lake City. We're going to talk to Cindy momentarily, but Ben, Josh Kroenke, who's what, Stan's son,
Must
probably?
be, yeah.
Owner of the Denver Nuggets, has released a statement as Calvin Booth and Mike Malone have both been fired. He said, while the timing of this decision is unfortunate, as Coach Malone helped build the foundation of our now championship-level program, it is necessary to it's a necessary step to allow us to compete at the highest level right now. Championship-level standards and expectations remain in place for the current season, and as we look to the future, we look forward to building on the foundations laid by Coach Malone over his record-breaking 10-year career in Denver. Unquote.
Okay.
All right, Josh.
Yeah.
I want to know if Malone parked in Josh's spot or something. I want to know. I want to know what put it over the top.
He got to work and it was like the Buick's there again.
Parked in my spot again.
Last time.
Firing this guy. I've had it. All right.
He keeps putting his soda cans in the garbage and not the recycling.
Oh man, that's it.
I've seen it last time.
It.
Toilet
I said
seat
it
was
last
up.
time. I said if I came in and saw the can, I'm canning this guy, and I'm doing it. We're live at Peach Doors and Windows. Joining us now, Cindy. And Cindy, you're a big NBA fan. What do you think about that? Mike Malone getting a second coach to be fired from a playoff team going into the playoffs.
All I can think of is there must be some big egos involved.
Yeah, got to be big egos.
Yeah. Big egos.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of firing people, and before we get too far down the road on this, I do think it's really important to recognize that getting a good installer and a good contractor is enormously important for these types of jobs. And I know a lot of people go to the big box store and thinking like, oh, well, we'll just have whoever come out. You don't realize, you don't know who the contractor is. You don't know who's coming into your home to put it in. And I don't mean the danger, but they're not accountable to anybody. They don't answer to anybody because they're being picked from somewhere random. You have your own contractors. It's why you have so many 5-star reviews. You know who you're working with, and you can recommend them over and over and over.
We know who we send out to do the work, and our installers like to treat our client's home like it's family. They're going to put tarps down on the floor so they don't track into your house. They're going to clean up your home better than they found it. And when we install new windows, they're going to wash the windows, take off the stickers. Not many people in our arena will go to that attention of detail.
two little details that you guys do, because we talk about your customer service all the time. I love it that you guys answer the phone. If somebody's going to call, you're going to answer it. You're going to talk to folks. And then I love it that you're on time. It seems like such a little thing, but who doesn't like the phone call where they're like, well, if you need to be there from 6 a.m. to 3 in the morning, and we may show up, we may not. Click. It's brutal.
We all are so busy in our life. And it's not that hard to just be on time and do what you say you're going to do. It seems difficult in the marketplace, though, because we hear these horror stories of people just not even coming to give you a quote, not even showing up to quote you. And you're thinking, well, if you can't give me a quote, then how are you ever going to show up to do work in my home? I can't trust that.
Yep.
And, we wouldn't go to a restaurant without looking at reviews. We wouldn't go to a hotel with looking at reviews nowadays. So please take a look at our Google 5-star reviews. We have over 400 5-star reviews, and that tells you what our customers have experienced in working with Peach on their doors and windows.
We love sitting in the showroom. We look around. I'm looking at 20 different types of shapes and sizes of doors right now, but we've seen customers come in. You don't have 3 salesmen waiting here, jumping down, trying to compete with each other to sell the most expensive door. You want people to come in and pick what they need for their home, what they want to live with. You're not just trying to put something in their house they don't need.
No, we want to talk to you about what your needs are and what your expectations are and try to work around that. Try to get an idea of what you want to do, and maybe you're not even sure what you want to do. So let us make some suggestions of what we have done in many homes here in, the Valley.
So you can Google it for yourself, as we mentioned. You can go to peachbuildingproducts.com. They've got a great website. Come see the showroom, as Ben just suggested, 2940 South, 300 West. And then they also do free in-home estimates, so they'll come to you, 801-566-1255. Cindy, we can't thank you enough for having the show down here. We love our relationship with you because you take such great care of our listeners. So thank you for all you do.
Thanks for coming in today, and go Bees.
All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow on the Jake and Ben Show, 97.5 DKSL Sports.
Thanks, Christian.